Welcome to the Newark Regional Business Partnerships Engage and Exchange podcast. Join us for business insights and meaningful conversations with NRBP's member organizations. Thank you to our podcast host sponsor, the Martin Tuchman School of Management at NJIT. Additional support for NRBP's Engage and Exchange podcast is provided by PSEG, New Jersey Urban News, Main Street Advisory, LLC. Today's guest is Lindsay Schambach. She is the Executive Director of Imagine, a Center for Coping with Loss.
Thank you.
Why don't you tell us a little about yourself?
Sure. It's so nice to be here at NJIT. I took courses for my master's degree here in the city of Newark. I've been a teacher and a principal in this city. And after the untimely passing of my husband in 2018, I used Imagine services as a participant here. I had a 4-year-old son and a 4-week-old daughter, and I needed Imagine so badly. So I was blessed enough in 2021 to become the executive director of this organization that helped me so much, and really thrilled to be able to serve Newark and the surrounding communities in this capacity. So,
how'd you find out about Imagine?
Someone on Instagram. It's this beautiful question that we teach. Have you ever heard about Imagine? Is the question that came through my Instagram, and I hadn't heard about Imagine, and that was enough to make me know I needed grief support. I drove down, found the location, and the rest is history.
So I did not know about Imagine. So similar to you, I lost my husband in 2000, and I was left with 2 small boys, a 4-year-old and a 7-year-old.
Oh my gosh.
So I did not know about Imagine. And so I'm just so happy that we're here to share with everybody what services they offer. So talk about the services that they offer.
Thank you for sharing too. I'm so sorry for you. 4 and 7 is it's an age to lose someone you love. And so we're really, really blessed to create safe spaces for children and their grown-ups to be in community with other people who understand. There's this experience that happens when you lose someone that you love that you feel like you're the only one it's ever happened to. But in the state of New Jersey, in the state of New Jersey, it's estimated that 1 out of every 13 children will lose a parent or a sibling before they turn 18. And so even though at the moment we feel like we're the only ones, the truth is it happens more frequently than it should. And so what Imagine does is we provide 100% free peer-to-peer support for children as young as 3 years old, all the way up to 30, and then all of the adults in their lives. And so the program that we call Nights of Support is when all of those who are bereaved come together. They sign up for biweekly sessions, and they come to one of our centers, either in Mountainside or in Newark, and they're in community with one another. And it's a remarkable, amazing experience to walk alongside people, to be in a room with people who have been where you've been and felt what you felt. So that is a blessing to be able to offer that to others.
So how many people do you serve?
We serve approximately 600 people in this program every other week. So they come through our doors. Sometimes I say whew, our doors are busy because our families sign up sometimes right after the loss has occurred, sometimes years after the loss has occurred. And they usually come, the average stay is about 2.5 years for someone in our services. It's sort of rolling admissions, and so someone can start in September or January or March. We try really hard to make sure that no one ever has to wait for free peer-to-peer grief support. And we serve families from we're now at 85 different towns around the state of New Jersey.
That's impressive.
Thanks.
And congratulations on your success in expanding your reach.
Thank you.
What I was wondering is, what are the most popular services that you see, or the most sought after service that you see?
Yeah. So most of the time people don't even know that peer grief support is a thing. We receive over 3,000 phone calls a year from people just saying, someone I love died and I don't know what to do. And so what Imagine does is work really hard to pair people with the right program. So one of our programs is Nights of Support. If you enroll in that program, you're eligible for many other programs. So we run an Understanding Children's Grief series where we support the adults in children's lives to better support children who are grieving. For our actual participants in our programs, we run what used to be a widow's retreat and is now a women's retreat, which is amazing to take away mothers who've experienced the death of children and women who have experienced the passing of a spouse or a partner in their lives. And that is so needed. It's like we spend all of our time giving and caring for everyone else, but I didn't really understand the oxygen mask, like put it on first. So at Imagine, we like to say that our children can only be as healthy as the adults in their lives. And so as much as we are here to care for kids, we try really to care for their grown-ups so their grown-ups can care for the kids.
Okay. And so you're a 501c3.
We are.
So talk about funding.
Yeah. Oh, one of my favorites. We do say, like, no money, no mission. Everything we do for our kids and families is free of charge. That's really important to us, that parents don't have to choose between soccer cleats and grief support. And so we receive funding. Most of it comes from the generosity of people in our community who understand our plight. They understand the road that our families are walking, and they want to make that easier. And then we do a lot of grant work, and we also have sponsorship opportunities. We do some amazing community-based events. We do a webinar series. We do a huge 5K that's called Greta's Run. That's beautiful. And then in November, we bring together 300 potential supporters and educate them about grief and loss. And so those are wonderful sources.
Do you receive any funding from the state?
We do not.
Okay.
No.
Very good. Very good.
No, we've been able to grow in this way, to rely on funding in ways that we never want to turn families away. We're very flexible and nimble in that way. And as we think about the new innovative things we want to do, we know we have supporters that can help us do that work.
Okay. Well, without disclosing any identities, do you have a success story you'd like to share with us?
There's so many. I will share this young, beautiful person recently reached out to Imagine. So on a random Saturday night, I received a ping in my inbox, and someone had set up an online fundraiser for our organization. And this beautiful young person, I called and I said, who are you and how'd you find us? And she shared that 3 years ago, her father had died very tragically, and she was a young 13-year-old, and she had an amazing community around her that helped her through one of the most tragic losses I've heard. And now she's about to be 17, and her father is supposed to be turning 59 years old, and he's not. And so she has had the resilience, the growth, and understands that the opportunity to give back. So she's a beautiful example. And then the other amazing thing about Imagine is that our peer-to-peer support programs are run by volunteers. And we could not do it without our volunteers. We have over 100 volunteers. We ran a training recently, and in that training was one of the first young people that we had ever served. In 2012, she lost her father, and now here she is today coming back as a volunteer to serve other young people who've experienced that loss. And so we feel very blessed to do the work alongside families for as long as they need us.
That's great. That's a great story. Can we talk about NRBP and Imagine? What has been the relationship, and what would you like to tell people about your involvement with NRBP?
Yeah. Prior to becoming the executive director here, I was a Newark public school teacher, principal in the city, and so coming into the nonprofit space, it's a very different experience. When you're in the schools, you really think about your classroom and your kids. When you're leading a nonprofit, you need partners. Like, you need people who are thinking about work in lenses and in ways that I never had to think about it before. I never thought about organizational growth and marketing, annual reports, printing, videography, like any of those things. And so NRBP has been an amazing opportunity for me to connect with people who are in fields that I had no contacts in. So I've called NRBP many times and said, do you know someone who would be good for this or someone who'd be, and sure enough, NRBP always has a list of people that they would connect me with. And so that's been a real blessing to the growth over these last 3 years of our organization, to be tapped into people who are like-minded and trying to do real good in the community.
Is there anything else that we could do to help you to do better?
I know that nonprofit work is really unique work, and connecting with other nonprofit leaders. There are challenges that sometimes as nonprofits, for-profit organizations, they don't have to touch. You know, you mentioned the funding question, and as nonprofits, we never want to take away other people's opportunities to contribute. And so I'd love a nonprofit space where we're really collaborating regularly, thinking about cross-granting opportunities, and that would be a real wonderful thing for us.
And we just started to form a nonprofit council. So Kirsten will reach out to you to tell you more about that. So,
I was going to say, sign me up.
Yeah, so that's good. So Lindsay, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you found this to be beneficial, and thank you for the heartwarming stories that you shared.
Thank you. Thanks for all you do.
If you want to learn more about NRBP, please visit our website at newarkrbp.org. Again, that's newarkrbp.org. And as always, we like to leave you with a quote. And this time it is, "The secret of getting ahead is getting started." And that's by Mark Twain. Thank you for listening to NRBP's Engage and Exchange podcast. Tune in next time for more NRBP member organization insights. For more information about our organization, visit www.newarkrbp.org. Thank you again to our podcast host sponsor, the Martin Tuchman School of Management at NJIT. Additional support for NRBP's Engage and Exchange podcast is provided by PSEG, New Jersey Urban News, Main Street Advisory, LLC.